Hey guys, this is Stu. Welcome to the Fang Real Estate Show. We do this every Sunday at 11 a.m. To basically bring content and provide experience and information to everybody in the community, the investment community in particular in real estate. So I'm glad that you guys are here to join us this Sunday. Um, Please do like, share, comment your questions below. I'll be asking Billy those questions at the end of the show. So we'll do some discussions, and then after that, I'll open it up to the group and allow you guys to ask questions to Billy, and me too. You guys have questions for me, just questions in general about real estate or questions in general about Billy. Um, if you guys don't know, you guys could search Billy up. Google him afterwards. Sorry, man, I'm sick. So, um, I will later put this on Facebook. On YouTube. So if you guys missed the stream, you guys could watch on there. If you're watching this later on YouTube and have any questions, please do write your questions below in the comment, and I'll come back and answer those questions later. With that said, we'll get started then. You ready, Billy?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Why don't you let us know? Like, do a 30-second introduction of who you are and how you get into real estate.
Let me tell you, I came to the United States in probably in the mid '80s, 1987 to be exact. I was about 13 years old.
Uh-huh.
So moved to Minnesota, and then I think in 2003 I got laid off from my job, and I really needed to do something to change my life. So at the age of 27, I just decided to go to choose a new career and move from biotechnology to real estate, and then we went back. And I think I thought I thought it was harder than I thought, but it didn't. When I got in, it's a little easier than in college. College is actually harder.
Wait, so bio you were in the biotech industry before real estate.
Yeah, I was my undergrad degree was biotechnology, so I was a scientist at one time,
So
mixing chemicals.
so you mean that's not a secure job? Everybody says that's a secure job.
Yeah, I was working for the state, but like I said, to move up the ladder, people love the job over there, so nobody moves up. So I realized that I mean, I just realized that as a scientist, I realized there's more than one way to do one thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I realized that hey, there's got to be more than one way to make money,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
Because the
yeah.
end goal is to make money, and so you could be a computer engineer, I could be a biotechnology, and the other guy could be in real estate. And the end goal is to make some money. So I
So if you
realized maybe I should choose it.
yeah, yeah. So if your end goal, I mean, making money is important. So why did you decide to make money in real estate versus like there's like stocks, there's maybe you might do some stocks too, but there's other avenues where you can make money. So why did you pick real estate versus like other avenues?
I think I'm gonna stumble on an infomercial late night. I think one night I was just watching TV, and I remember Carlton Sheet came in. That was he
Oh
was
yeah,
the broker at that time, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
I bought
That's
the
like the
program. I was
OG.
listening. Yeah, exactly. I bought the program. I was listening. So as I was driving to my work, I was listening like, man, sounds like something I can really do.
Mhm.
Um, then I realized that I want to do something like that, but I was still working.
Yeah,
And the next thing, you know, I got laid off,
yeah.
and I got laid off, and then but the one thing that I do want to say here is that you know most people they understand about business or anything that they do that hey the end goal is to to make sure the family is success, make sure they make money, to make sure they do something that's positive. But about 30% of the folks probably realize, hey, maybe this is not for me, or maybe this is for me,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna put a plan together. And because realization, it takes a smart person to realize that, hey, if I do it now, how much what I gain in the future, how much what I lose in the future.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it takes a smart person to actually put a plan together, actually execute, and that's only about 10% of the folks in America that actually
yeah,
put a plan after they realize what they're going to do and
yeah,
actually execute that.
yeah, yeah. It took me a long time to actually execute my plan. So I put a plan together and then didn't execute it for like 8,
Right.
9 years.
You realize the opportunity, right?
Yeah,
But
I was
you
like,
you you, you didn't execute. See?
yeah, yeah. So, all right. So, let's fast forward a little bit there. What does your
Uh,
portfolio look like right now? I know you sold a bunch of properties, but what kind of your because you also own a brokerage. So can you discuss about where you at sort of in your investment right now?
yeah, I think the we used to hold. I used to hold some property, but we sold them all.
Uh huh.
I think right now we only have like I think one left.
Oh.
But the only reason why we did that is because we been burned in the past,
Uh huh.
and the market is going so high right now that you know
You
it's not
cashed
going to
out.
go higher. Yeah, yeah, your max pretty much up there, and if your goal, your end game is to max your cash flow, then it's a different story, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because your goal is to for cash flow, then you don't have to sell anything because
Hmm.
the more property you accumulate, the more cash flow you're going to get.
Yeah.
But if your end goal is to take the money and double your buying power in the future, then you should be selling right now
Yeah.
because nobody knows exactly. I've been burned in the past, 2003 to 2006. We
Yeah.
got a lot of properties, and I didn't sell. I sold some, and some I kept. And the next thing is the market went down 40%, and all the profit, all my equities is like wiped
Yeah.
out in
Yeah.
1 year.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
see right
Yeah.
now your equity that you're hoping to earn. That's like in a $500,000 equity gets wiped out in like 1 year, and the next
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
you woke up to a negative equity.
Yeah. I think there's a question on the Facebook page about that for you later. So we'll discuss that more
Yeah,
and get your thoughts about that because you've been through sort of the two cycles. Yeah,
yeah. I've
or a
been through
few of the
cycles, so I know
cycles.
exactly.
So
Welcome to negative equities.
yeah, yeah. All right, so let's step back a little bit and uh let's talk about your first deal, your first real estate deal. I mean, did you like have all this experience ahead of time already, or how was your first deal, and how did that go?
I mean, let me tell you, from the first deal, I mean, the one deal that I did, it's partly with my uncle. When I told you about realization is was something where you know that you can really make money, and then when my uncle came and approached me, he said, "Hey, share sale at the time was very profitable in
Uh huh.
2003
Mhm.
because the market was up and everybody wants to buy and sell." And my uncle came to me and said, "Hey, we should do some share sale."
Mhm.
And so the next thing I bought a book how to do my own title search. I started doing title search and subscribed to newspapers, and then
Uh huh.
we bought a first deal, and at the sheriff we got it for 90. I think we got it for a bid was like probably a 100,000 probably at the time.
Yeah.
We and it didn't need a lot of work. We spent about $6,000 to rehab
Oh wow, that's like
turnarounds. Yeah,
super light.
exactly. Super light.
Yeah.
It wasn't that we spent about 6,000 because the rest of manpower was done by the families.
Yeah.
So we spent about $6,000 to rehab. I remember, and we sold about 324,000 within 4 months.
Damn.
So
You got great first deals.
exactly. And from that on, they're like, "Holy cow! This thing's really work, right?"
That's when you caught the
And
real est- that's when you caught the real estate bug.
exactly.
You're like, shit, dude. Yeah,
Seriously, right? I mean,
yeah,
we went to see a few deals, but that was a fourplex that we bought,
yeah,
and the guy somehow did not take care of the property. He could have sold the property for like $200,000. People would buy cash just like that. He didn't do
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
And so I studied my first deal. I studied sheriff's sales. So I went down to the sheriff and office, and we bid for it, and we partnered together. And man, it was all cash deal at that time. Well, like I said, we spent $6,000 to take
Yeah.
care, and then we basically sold it in 4 months because since he didn't live in the property, we were able to do a 5 weeks redemption
Yeah.
and to actually expedite the redemption period so that it doesn't take 6 months.
Yeah.
So we were able to sell the property within 4 months, and man, that was like the biggest fish in my life
Yeah.
at that time. So like, wow.
So
And actually, we but
yeah, so you made like over $200,000 profit. So 100 each of you guys for each of you
yeah,
guys.
so
Yeah.
we had like four cousins are doing it, so we
Oh,
probably
oh,
made a
oh,
little
okay.
less, but you know, probably like $50,000,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still, right?
So that's yeah,
Especially with the 4 months.
yeah, yeah. so let's st-
you know,
so let's step back a little bit. What's a share of sales, anyways? So
share
just
sale is
explain it.
when let me tell you, share sale is when you see a property before it goes to foreclosure is
Yeah,
advertised on the newspaper. Usually, the county has one, and
yeah,
if advertised there, and it publicly says whose house is going to go to foreclosure.
yeah,
And then, so the sheriff basically is responsible to actually put those into auction.
yeah,
And you can buy directly from the sheriff, but you have to pay cash. And then
yeah,
once
yeah,
you buy, they give you a sheriff deed, and you have about 6 months redeemed as for the owner.
hmm,
And then if they don't live there, you can basically file for 5 weeks redemption to expedite that, to make sure that you get the house because it's actually your
yeah,
house now, but
yeah.
you don't actually get the full ownership until you know the redemption is over.
Yeah, so each area does it different, but in Minnesota and especially in this Twin Cities area, they allow the owner to still come back and purchase the property back, right? That's the
Yes,
redemption period. Yeah. So
exactly.
uh,
Go ahead.
so you kind of own the property, but then you have to wait till the redemption period is over before you really you really own it. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really sell the property at that time unless you knock on the door and say, "Hey, I just took over your mortgage. I owe the
Yeah.
note now.
Yeah.
If I probably you want, I can give you $5,000. You can walk away, or I just wait until the end of redemption and take over."
Yeah.
Remember, Minnesota. The cool thing about Minnesota is that we have the right to. You have the right to. As the owner, you have the right to sell your house too.
Yeah.
So you can basically put your house on the market if you want to.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. So why did you? I mean, you started out of the gate having partners already, and that's sort of the theme of this discussion today. But why did
Hmm.
you? Because some people are like scared to do it with other people. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose money. My cousin, my uncle's gonna cheat me." So so why were you? You know, what was your thought, or did you not just, or you just don't care about that?
Well, I mean, you got to say that a piece of pie is better than no pie. You know,
Yeah.
imagine making $20,000 versus $0.
Hmm.
Because imagine you had 25,000. You had three cousins that had 25 each, and you guys bought a house for 100,000 and repair it and fix it, and you flipped it for another 175. Right?
Hmm.
Each made $15,000, or maybe 12,000. Doesn't matter, or
Yeah.
20,000. Right? But it's probably better than you have 25,000 and you let it sit in the bank for 0.02%. And in fact, you can't even do anything about that because, you know, the house that we're
Yeah.
buying at that time, you can't even get a loan because it needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
If you invest in certain house where, and sometimes you can get a cash deal for cheaper, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, we learn as partner I partner with it, but eventually I realized a partner, it doesn't work all the time, but
Hmm.
for the right people, it will work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then most people get a really bad experience with partnership because it's all about communication.
Yeah.
Some people didn't really communicate well, so
Hmm.
that's how they get burned too.
Yeah. But I mean, you could do it just per deal, right? If you do
Yeah, you can do it
partnerships.
per deal.
Yeah. So if the deal don't work out, you don't have to partner with them the next time.
Yeah,
Kind of
exactly.
like.
Hey, I did partner with many people. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not we do it on a lifetime. We only do one deal. The next time I partner with a different person.
Yeah.
Next time I partner with a different person. So I never partner with if that partner is working good, then we continue. But if after one deal it doesn't work as good, then I chose a different partner.
Yeah,
I have people calling me all the time, want to be partner.
yeah, yeah. So that's okay. All right. So then fast forward, you started a brokerage with one of your buddies too, right? Or well, how did you and Steve meet, anyways, to create
Yeah, we
creative results?
Steve and I met back in 2008, but and he used to hang out with my brothers at the project, because we
Uh
lived in
huh.
the project at the time. He was younger than me, but then we came into a deal where I think Steven was on the seller side,
Uh
I
huh.
was on the buyer side, and the next thing, the deal fall apart, and they didn't want to pay, they didn't want to return the earnest money, so I had to come up with a different way to approach to get the earnest money back, and
Uh huh.
finally, I think we had to write a letter to tell them that my buyer was a college student.
Uh huh.
They wanted to buy a house, but eventually, somehow, the last minute, the deal fell through, and the owner got pretty pissed. They didn't want to return the earnest money. But then somehow we were able to negotiate, and we wrote really good letters to the owner saying, "Hey, this guy just got out of college. His parents already bought sofa and about to move in, but now they can't do it no more."
Yeah.
The owner just, you know, he went. He's like, "Well, then that's the case. Then I'll just return the earnest money." From
Oh,
there on, then
you guys are
right,
good. You guys are, is
right from
that
there.
is
So we're like,
yeah. Uh-huh.
so we were like, we're like two other dollar. So we kind of test each other's skills at that level to, hey,
Yeah.
maybe we. But then after that, then I called Steven in 2000. I realized the market is picking up,
Yeah.
and I realized I could not do alone.
Mhm.
Doing alone, you're not going to be survive in a business where you need a lot of ideas and creativities.
Yeah.
And so I called a few friends, but then I got hold of Steven and said, hey, we met before, and then said, hey, I'm gonna. We met. I mean, our partnership started very easy. We met, and I said, look, the opportunity is here.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the, the market is here right now. We just need to create a company using our skills and creativity that we used in the past to help our people to grow in a way that has never been done.
Uh-huh.
Because in the past, most people did not believe that real estate could be a full time job.
Yeah. Okay.
And even though
Especially
so
yeah, especially in our Hmong community, right?
exactly, because everybody was just selling 2 3 homes a year,
Yeah.
getting 10,000 extra income.
Mhm.
And most broker was just creating business, and the motto was, give me a license and go to sell.
Yeah.
And I said, Steven, we can't create a model like that. That
Mhm.
model has been created. It didn't do much to our community. In fact, it actually hinders our community from growth.
Yeah.
Like they're making money, but they're not doing something that so positive that it changed their entire career. Like
Yeah.
hey, I was making 40,000 my job, and now since I work full time real estate, I make 140.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it wasn't a dramatic change. That it was
Yeah.
like I got in real estate, I made 40 my job, and I made 15 last year. So therefore,
Yeah.
I made 55.
Yeah.
And so I told Steve, hey, why don't we do something to use our skills and creativity so we can help some of these brothers and sisters to make money that like they were done before, you
Yeah.
know. And I think we proved that concept that hey, we in the past 3 4 5 years that we've been around, we helped a lot of the agents that never made money more than 50,000 to even hundreds of thousands of
Yeah. So
dollars, just
why
because.
so 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 why did you include the investment side into if you guys don't know, we're talking about creative results, your broker, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So why did you create like the investment side to that? Was that because it's both of your expertise too into the
Exactly.
oh, okay. So
I mean, here's the thing. We realize that real estate is so broad. Selling and buying real estate is just a one way to make money.
yeah.
There's like I had a list of 23 ways how to make money in real estate,
Oh,
and
okay.
so far most other brokers out there are teaching 2 ways:
Yeah.
buy a real estate and sell real estate. They
Yeah.
didn't teach how do you make money without using your own money.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you buy real estate without losing a leg and an arm?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many ways out there to make money, but The problem is most brokers say, hey, and I said they're not doing anything wrong because that's the model that they put themselves on. And I
Yeah.
told a bunch of agents, hey, you can't be mad at these brokers because that's what you sign up for
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Man, 23 ways to make money in real estate. That sounds like a show, Billy.
Yeah, it is. It is. Over the years, we said at least 23 ways to make money in real estate, and most of agents these days, or even a lot of investors, only know a few of those,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yep.
if you only know a few of those, then what if the market changed? You know,
Yeah, yeah. So, uh, uh, I think we lost you a little bit. I can't hear you anymore, Billy.
wholesale. I think
Oh, okay. Was it your battery? I could hear you again.
okay. I was like, oh, 30
Yeah,
minutes. I'm
yeah.
like,
Sorry
ooh,
about that, guys.
okay.
All right, so let's go back a little bit. Why did you decide to build it with Steve? Because let me tell you this. Yeah, let me tell you this story before you get there. Actually, I'll tell the story in a little bit. Just but why did you decide to build creative results for Steve? Like what is it about that partner that you're like, I think it could work? You know, what are those qualities that you were looking for?
I think we had a great bond at the right from the beginning. We were very easy to talk about. Just discussing about business, we were really easy to talk to each other.
Uh huh.
And the one thing that makes us unique is that the communication we're able to communicate easily.
Uh huh.
Uh, we both uh, we both understand that hey, I can't function without you. You can't function without me because we have each person has their own side of you know the the things that we're good at.
Yeah, yeah. Your own skill sets, your own expertise and value that you bring, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's something that Steven's lack of. I have it. There's
Yeah,
something he has. I that I don't.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
we put it when you put it together, and then you're able to function. Fully.
yeah. Yeah, so see when I met you, oh, I met Steve before you, but then I saw Steve like everywhere. I was like, how's this guy able to do everything and have such a successful brokerage, right? And then after that, I met you at I think one of the party, and Jay introduced me to you, our
Hmm.
mutual friend. And then at that point, I realized I know why Steve's successful because Billy is sort of the brain behind. So I knew why. I mean, not to say that Steve doesn't do anything; he does a bunch of stuff. But I knew that he has to have another person, that another like-minded person that help build the organization together. You know, so I think if you find the right partner, like you guys did, I think you guys go a long way versus like other brokers that you might not have the idea to bounce back and forth, right?
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I see that. Partnership, but I'm gonna say, well, just like Nelson Mandela said, you speak in the language that they understand, it goes to their head. But if you
Yeah,
speak in their language, it goes a little harder. Yeah.
yeah,
And I think that I'm gonna say, Lumon na is that you were part of it, to shin law that, okay?
yeah.
Shin law, what's a get Ghana.
Hmm.
And most of the part I know that they got into business, all to think about money. They don't think about the end games and hey, what's our end games that we want to do? Is that we wanted to make sure that we don't just make money for 1 or 2 years and then just destroy each other. The
Yeah,
goal is to build big enough so that we can do something not just for us but for our people, you know,
yeah,
and for the community itself, and so
yeah,
that it's not just about hey, we're going to be part for 2 years or 1 year and we'll make some money and then we're just going to separate and
mm,
depart and forget about it. It's really about hey, we're going to build big and we're going to make sure that you know we retain or maintain as much as we can, unless something else happened and we couldn't control it. But other than that, we want to make sure that hey, the little things that don't let the little thing bother us.
yeah, yeah.
You,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
there's so many distractions. Like agent transferring, agent got issues. Other brokers, recruiting your agents.
Yeah.
How you gonna do all these things? How you gonna take care of all these little issues where, agent retention, the whole thing. And I told a friend of mine, I said, hey, being a leader to lead the community is different from being leading an independent entrepreneur, agents where they have the right to go anywhere they want to.
Yeah. Yep.
But then we have to make sure that hey, they like us, they want to stay with
Yeah. Yeah. And been talking to you guys. I might move in with you guys.
us.
Maybe in a few years or something like that. um, okay. Uh, that's great. We'll talk more about partnership stuff, but let's go back and go into one of your deals that maybe you could share with us more into
Mhm.
details and stuff like that. Do you have a deal in mind that you've done in the past?
I mean, I the okay, the last one of the deal I did, one of the partner lady, one of the agents just came in. I'm gonna share a little bit about great results,
Okay. Yeah. You can
investment
share.
side, right?
Yep.
Um, she did. This is another sheriff sale again. So
Oh.
what happened is the house was in foreclosure. Then the house was already in sheriff sale. They had like 3 months left.
Mm-hmm.
So when one of the agents went to knock on the door and found out she's still living in the house and
Yeah.
she has 3 months left, I think she owes about $260,000
Mm-hmm.
total debt. So we know the houses in the Maple Grove is worth probably at the end of the repair is probably about 550.
So
Okay,
is this a single family house?
yeah, single family.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a high end area
Oh,
at the time. Probably 550, probably yeah, high end area over
oh,
Maple.
so this is like the one of the higher end properties
Exactly. And so we
because
she had two mortgage.
yeah, two mortgages.
Go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
she had two mortgage and then combined to be um you know 260, and
Hmm.
it's actually the second mortgage is foreclosed on her,
Oh, okay.
not the first mortgage. Usually the first mortgage will foreclose on you,
Yeah,
but in this case, the second mortgage was TCF Bank, so they foreclosed on the for property because they knew that if they're gonna pay off this first one and still sell the house or to
yeah,
pay themselves off,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we met with the lady, and one of the agent met, and she said, "Hey, Billy, I need your help, and I need you to partner with me." So
Uh huh.
I went out there, and they wanted $50,000 to walk out,
Uh huh.
and we didn't know how much the house was worth. It, so I did an assessment right away, and I found out the house is going to be probably worth about 550 when it's done.
Uh
So
huh.
what we did was we gave them the offer $40,000 to
Uh
walk
huh.
away, and in total about 300,000. So after we closed the deal, we did a quick clean deed deal. But we still closed with full titles, through title search and everything to make sure
Uh
there's
huh.
no other liens and on the property.
Uh
So
huh.
right after that, we sold to an investor for about 347, I think.
So you
And
wholesale the deal to another investor.
exactly, exactly. Within 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 days. And because over the weekend we're done, I went out there and I just changed the lock,
Uh huh.
and then that's it. And then we put a lock in the lock box, and then took the next day. But 3 days later, we closed with another investor, 347, and it walked out, and that's it. And I think we made $40,000 after paying all the fees and everything.
Yeah.
Well, 40,000, and that was her first deal that she came in using the real estate investment side, because especially with
Oh,
agent,
yeah.
that was the
now
biggest commission.
now she's
True story.
gonna continue to invest.
Exactly.
Is she still investing? Uh
Yeah, I think she's looking for deals. Like I said, she was supposed to sell houses and then do the investment. But she got in, and so since we had that side, one of the agents showed her how to knock on doors.
yeah,
And when she found that deal, and she didn't know what to do with the deal,
yeah,
I went in
yeah,
there and we negotiate.
yeah,
We put the deal together and done. And the next thing, her first deal ever, is she already made 20,000.
yeah, yeah.
What
That's
even?
great. Like for those of you guys out there that keep asking about mentorship, this is the best way. One of the best way to get mentors. Like if you become an agent, look for a brokerage with leadership teams that are doing things that you guys want to do. And if you guys like go and ask people, hey, can you be my mentor? They're not. If you ask Billy, Billy's not gonna have time. He's partying.
Hey,
But if
I
you,
tell you,
yeah,
go
yeah, go
ahead.
ahead.
Yeah, man. There was a for example, there was a true story. There was a lady came in to my office. She was referred to a friend of mine. and came in and said she wanted to learn the investment side.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she told me that she already spent $40,000 joining this program.
Uh-huh.
They want to teach her how to invest. And I said, "Do you have any experience?" She said, "No."
Yeah.
And I said, and her mentor is not even in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I said, for example, if you call me from San Diego, I don't know what San Diego's market is.
Yep.
I
Yep.
could be an expert, but I still can't really teach you on San Diego market, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said, "Why don't you go get your license and I'll just teach you for free."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
Join Create
uh,
Results will just teach you for free. It's
yeah,
not a
yeah.
one-day learning. It's not a weekend. It's a continual learning that because we
Yeah.
have Tuesday mastermind class that we teach on the entrepreneur agent every Tuesday
Uh,
about new ideas that 23 ways how to make money.
yeah, yeah.
You can't just learn in 1 week and try to go make money. It's kind of like two trying to go fix house 1 week and he trying to go
Yeah.
down in California and fix house. It's not going to work that way.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
you might have to fix many homes before you go do it by yourself, right?
Yeah, I've done it before, and I YouTubed it, and it takes me like 3 months to to finish one bedroom. So don't do that.
Right?
That's the that's the long way to do it. Just get go find a partner, as in like, or a mentor, as in like just work with it. And the thing is that like I'm pretty sure you know this. You're not gonna know what to say to them until they have a deal, right? And then they
Yeah,
come and
exactly.
ask you like, "Hey, I have this deal now. Like, what your agent did, and said I don't know what to do with it. What should I do?" So that's when you're able to help them. You know?
I mean, our goal, and one of the goals that Create Results has that we put it into our brokerage is that we want to expose our agent to as much knowledge as they can.
Yeah,
Because guess what happened? When they come across a deal, they know exactly how to get help.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like like you said, a bathroom, and you thought maybe it'd take a week, and then you found out it takes 2 months. Well,
yeah,
now you know, right? But what if we
yeah,
told them, hey, a small change of bathroom it takes a week, but what if you're gonna take out the whole bath and remodel, sheetrock, and the whole thing? I mean, it's gonna take you a week or two, right,
yeah,
or even
yeah,
months for those that don't have times. And that's what we are. That's what Create Results is. That hey, we don't want to. Because if you just want to, we have another side. If you just want to sell and buy, we still are one of the broker that can do that for you.
yep,
But if you want to, hey, I want to learn how to make money in multiple ways, so that if the market shift, would you want to know a different way to make money?
yeah. That sounds like another. That sounds like another another show.
Exactly, right?
How to make money when the market shifts.
Yeah, seriously. The risk people make money or the market shift, and trust me,
Yeah,
most. I mean, if you look at Warren Buffett, I
yeah,
watched the guy
yeah,
back then. Before the market crashed, he was worth 33 billion now. After the market crashed, now he's worth 70 billion.
yeah. I think
Well,
he's
that's
at
like
eight.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
How do you earn that much money? You
Yeah,
don't. The market shift, and you know exactly how to make money, and you shift yourself to that position, and now the next thing, you just can't earn 30 or 40 billion in 12 years. I
yeah.
mean,
It take him like 40 years to earn 30 billion, and then take
yeah,
him like less
10
like
years.
10 years to earn to double that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the market shift, it
Yeah.
takes the market shift. You're going to make money. Like real estate right now, I said, I wish the market would crash soon because then I'll make
Yeah.
more money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But it's not going
exactly.
to.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why people worry about the market crashing. I'm like, I'm waiting for it to crash. I want it to
Yeah, exactly.
crash. All right. So that's good. What did you learn from that the wholesale deal that you did with your agent, or maybe what your agent learned from that?
I mean, like I
Maybe
said, they learn
lessons.
that. I think that every deal is easy before if you have to work with the people they know what they're doing. Like
Yeah,
the deal would not go through if she's doing by herself.
yeah,
Because she doesn't know how to put the contract together, how to work, put the verbs together, because you don't know the house is going to sell for 550, and you know
yeah,
how are you going to market to your investor.
yeah,
You could be say, hey, give me 10,000, and you walk away. You can lose that 30,000 in equity, right?
yeah,
But I knew exactly. I said, hey, this house once it's done, we're going to sell it for 550, but because it's on a 1 acre lot, and the new development is just across the street,
yeah.
and they're selling for 550 and plus. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, this one, the same size. And I'm telling you, and I mean, when in terms of buying a house, like there's 5 things that I look for. I look for the location.
Uh-huh.
the condition of the property. You know, how much is that this house needs repair. I'm looking for the layout of the house. Is layout a good layout? Is it, you know, one of those houses that has really bad layout?
Yeah.
You know, also now we're looking for the amenities. Does it have enough bathrooms and kitchens? And is it, you know, you look for those things, garage. You look for, you know, porch. You look for deck.
Yeah.
And then the last thing you look for is to make sure, hey, the land situated in a way that it's nice, where it's not slopey land, where it's, you know, people don't like the backyard. And so I look into those 5 criteria, and then I make one decision
Yeah.
and say, look, when I'm after I go through my 5 hardcore criteria, then I make one decision to
Yeah.
purchase or not to purchase.
Yeah. That sounds like a show too, man.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
I think you
Because
gotta
you
be
can't buy
that.
real estate without looking at these things.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Man, that's good. All right, so um, that's good. That's life changing. And what you guys did over there was that you actually helped the owner too. You know, to not go into
Yeah, they
foreclosure.
only make money.
Yeah, yeah. And the owner may walk away with $40,000. So you know that's better than the owner
You
going
know what
through
you said? A lot of
foreclosure.
guys came in.
Yeah,
A lot of guys came to offer her like $10,000
yeah,
to walk away, and she didn't want to. And then I
yeah,
went in there and said, you know what, we can give you $40,000.
yeah.
And she's like,
So
her son's like, okay, we'll sign this. I'm like, you know, because I
right
want to make
now.
sure the owner, yeah, exactly. I want to make sure it's a win-win, right? The owner
Yeah,
wins, the investor win, and it has to be that way.
yeah,
I don't want to go in there and take advantage. Hey, I'll give you 5,000, and you know, I want. We don't want to do that. In Create Results, we have ethics. We don't want to teach the agent to go out there and try to do things that, you know, they're gonna come back and, you know, sue us. You
yeah,
see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yep,
And we
yep.
want to make sure. I told the guy and his son, I said, hey, I want to make sure you know, your mom's happy and we're happy so that we can make some money. You know that we need to make some money. Otherwise, if
Yep.
we can't make money, we're not gonna do the deal. And he
Yeah,
understood that.
yeah, yeah, yep. So that's awesome. I love these win-win scenarios and situations, and I think as investors and even realtors, you know, I think that's what we should strive for. You know, to create these win-win all around situations. So that's awesome. All right, so we're gearing towards the end of the conversation. It's almost at the hour already. If you guys want to, please write your questions below. I'll open it up in a little bit to Billy to answer some of your questions. Okay. And again, if you can, please like, share, and let other people know about the show as well. So, what's the plan and goals for the future of your brokerage for creative results?
I mean, I think the plan is basically we want this year to 2020 to really focus on more of the agents,
Uh huh.
spend more time training them and bring more resources to them, because we
Yeah.
realize that people are not going to improve unless they have the right resources and the right knowledge to improve
Yeah.
themselves. People can nobody like I see a lot of agents out there have potential to sell like 20, 30 homes a year,
Mhm.
but they only sell 5 to 7 homes a year.
Uh huh.
And the reason why that happened is because, first of all, maybe they didn't know that they had the potential.
Yeah.
Second of all, they don't have the right resource.
Mhm.
And third, they don't have the right mentor to guide them,
Yeah.
right? And so our year 2020 is we want to bring some resource to the agent, more resources to the agent. We make sure that, hey, we're helping the agent as much as we can, and so that the new, because you know we already had like the first wave, second, and third wave. This is like a third wave already of
Yeah.
agents that come to TR. We will make sure that, hey, we create more positive for them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? More
So
positive.
so how many agents do you guys have now? I think you guys are over 100 or
Uh,
something.
yeah, over 100. I
Yeah.
can't remember. We had at least over 100 agents who, and then, you know, maintain a, uh, you know, the broker in a way that, you know, the agent is not. We don't want to, like, our company. We don't want the agent to feel like they're just a number. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I
Yeah.
mean, because we meet the agent on a constant basis. We have events to meet them.
Mhm.
You know, we call them to come to the office meet. We go eat lunch with them.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that, hey, if you have potential, we want to make sure you fulfill the potential.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the goal of Great Results. Hey, what if this guy has potential to sell 30 homes and then do investment all this stuff, and he's only doing 5 homes?
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
especially CR. You know,
Yeah, yeah, that's great. If you guys are investors and you don't know where to start, I say be an agent and go to hang out with Billy and Steve and the whole team at Creative Results. You're gonna learn a bunch of things over there. Let me see. If someone's starting new right now, like a real estate investors or someone that's interested in the real estate career or the real estate field, what's your advice for them?
say it again. I think I lost the network.
If someone's starting brand new right now that is interested in either investing or participate in the real estate industry, what's your advice for them? Brand new. Can you,
You talk with a newly agent startup. Man, I keep losing connection. I don't know
uh,
what happened.
can you hear me?
But you said somebody start new, right? Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear.
yeah.
You
Someone
said you
that's
said
brand
you said if somebody start.
yeah, someone that's brand new that just
You know,
like starting to look at real estate as a potential career path.
I would say, hey, I would say, give us a try because our goal is to make sure that hey, listen, at the end of real estate is not just giving you a license and go to sell.
Yeah,
If that's easy, we would have so many more millionaires by now or rich people by now. Trust me,
yeah, yeah,
it takes hard people lessons. The thing is, we learn. Steve and I made so many mistakes in the past that we put that into our class and make sure that none of those mistakes are going to be repeated. Right? That's why
yeah,
we found the 23 ways how to make money, 23 ways how to market it
yeah,
to make sure you make your success. And most of the agent, like I said, if you were looking for a broker out there to come in and do business, the first second year you're not going to make much money. You're going to learn a lot, and that's what you want to be. You don't want to be in a broker where you don't even learn anything. Say, give me a license, and go to sell, and the first second year, guess what happened? You pay every year. You pay about $2,000 of fees
yep,
for
yeah,
nothing.
yep,
Second year, and what if you didn't do a deal for a whole year? That's $2,000. The next year, you only did one deal, and your wife said, "Hey, honey, you only got 2 years, and you only sold one house. Maybe real estate is not."
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying,
People
right?
forget that there's a cost associated with our license, so
Exactly. It's
we
two
gotta.
thousand a year, and I'm like, why do you want to pay those fees? And we got agents that we call us, hey guys, you went to school for a whole month,
Yeah,
and you spend that time, and when it comes to training, you're gonna sit at home. You're not gonna make money.
yeah,
You spend a whole month at the class. Why not after take the class, come to our office? We want to teach you individually. I had time. I taught agents one on one myself.
yeah, yeah.
It needs to. And
Yeah.
I meet them one on one because I realized that I wish I had a mentor like that. They mentored me when I was younger, one on one. I didn't.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. Man, guys, if all the people that kept asking for mentors, here it is. All right, so I'm gonna open up for I'm gonna open up for questions from the group. So if you guys can leave your questions below. I'm gonna start with the questions that people asked before. And then let's see. Oh, we're at the hour already, but you'll stay another like 5, 10 more minutes.
Yeah. I think, oh yeah, you mentioned you had a question about the market. Okay,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
market,
It's
right?
it's one of the people's
Oh, what happened?
questions. So
Oh,
yeah.
I'm losing the
So
signal.
can you hear me? It, oh,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah. I think there was a question by Chai. You mentioned about the real estate market, right?
yeah. So I'm gonna ask those questions now. I'm gonna ask them right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me see. Victor Lau as are you picky with your return on investment or not?
Yes, I do. I have to have certain numbers of return to do it because cash on cash return it's something that you have to look at it. You don't just buy a property just because it looks good
Yeah.
because like I don't buy a property for 10,000 and think that I'll make money. What if the house only worth 7?
Yeah.
You can go to Milwaukee and buy a house for 10,000 and realize it's only worth 7.
That's true. I went there to hang out with a couple of guys over there. Yeah.
Right?
So so
And I
what's sort of
realize that
your yeah, what's sort of your percentage on your cash
I
on
mean,
cash?
I think that usually I I don't want to buy. too low. I looked at between my cash and cash return. I looked at 10 or 20%. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't want to deal with 5% or anything too small. Where
yeah,
like if I flip a house and I put 200,000 in, I should be able to make 40, $50,000.
yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, so about 20%.
But we're losing the connection,
Yeah.
man.
It might be
You can
me.
hear me, right?
Yeah, I
I
can hear
mean,
you. Yes.
I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like if I buy a house for 200,000, I should be able to put like some money in selling and still make $40, $50,000. That's if I that should be a 20. That's like 20%, 15 and 20% return. You don't want to deal with a house where you're making after everything and you're making 15 grand since you already put 200,000 in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a lot of work to get a 7% return, and you might not even get it because what if the market shrink a small piece and then the next thing is 15,000 becomes 5,000?
Yeah. So have a good margin on there. So
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's around 20%. Let me see. Do you prefer tea or coffee? That's a
I
actual
have no idea what
question.
that
So
means. That's an actual question. I actually drink tea. So I don't
tea.
drink coffee because coffee actually I don't get a kick from coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like drinking because one thing about me is that I do not want to. I don't want to. Since I'm a scientist, I don't like
Yeah.
to because I don't like to induce my body with certain chemicals when I have to depend on
Yeah. Except for what is it? Ethanol or reduce ethanol?
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Except for maybe a Henneken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see. All right. Teely asks. Let me see. Which markets you currently invest in? Where you look at? You mainly invest in Minnesota, right? Is that sort of the
Yeah,
market? Or
I used to do it in North Carolina, and then I sold most of the houses. And I went back, and mostly I do it now in here because local is probably the best
yeah.
because we have one property in Milwaukee, man, but it's not doing as great in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Uh, and then Tilly also asks, what asset classes are you currently involved in? So do you just do like single family uh, duplexes, fourplexes, or do you do other like larger type of real estate assets too?
I mean, I don't have any preference as long as it make money.
Uh huh.
Um, Usually, most of the one that makes a lot of money are usually single family to fourplexes.
Uh huh.
The financial is not as hard, and you can get those to sell easily, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like for example, a fourplex, you can sell that easily
Yeah.
with a good profit margin. You know why? Because FHA allow people to buy up to fourplex with 3.5% down.
Yeah.
The moment you get a 5 unit, you get an investor to put 25% down.
Yeah.
You see, now you're facing a problem where you gotta have somebody has to have 25% down.
Yep.
But if you
So
sell a fourplex,
yeah.
easy.
You have more buyers with the 1 to 4.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have a lot more buyers. Your pool buyers are a lot more. The commercial stuff, you're usually dealing more sophisticated and more longer timelines when you sell and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, and your
uh,
profit margin might not be as
yeah,
great because unless you got it very low, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because there
yeah,
aren't that many people that has that plan for certain commercial that you're doing it.
yeah. Okay. All right. Mike Jung asked, "Do you get your money back if during the redemption period the owner redeems the house or sells it on the market?" So if the
Oh,
owner
really,
takes,
really.
yeah, during the redemption period, if the owner takes the it's my connection. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, do you get the money back if the owner redeemed the property?
Yeah.
Yes, you do, and they actually pay you interest. Be honest with you, I learned one of the good things about it is you can actually put your money over there and actually earn more interest than you put in the bank.
Well, Oh,
They will
so
pay you back with interest.
yeah, with interest. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think you get like I believe 4 to 5%. I believe.
Uh, yeah. I think the county sets that interest, right? Let's see. Did you factor in the sweat equity even when you part? Oh, okay. So when you partner with people with your family, do you factor in the sweat equity because someone might put in more time to fix the property than you or someone else? How do you handle that?
Well, here's the thing. When we go to partnership, we have an agreement that hey, either we hire people to do it, or we do it ourselves. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I think you're kind of you're not
Let,
loud anymore. You're
let
kind of
me
yeah. Just maybe just hold it.
let me just go to the other speakers just to make sure
Yeah, I
we
could hear you, but you're kind of farther now. I think your Bluetooth
let
lost
me
battery.
just go right into the other side here.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna take the Bluetooth off.
yeah.
Okay,
Hey guys, sorry about that. We're towards the
I'm
tail
gonna take
end.
this Bluetooth off and just.
Oh, you're back.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, we could hear you. But you're frozen. If you guys are joining us, we're having a little technical difficulty, but we're towards the tail end of the conversation
You
already.
hear
So
it?
yeah, I could hear you.
Okay, I just took
Yeah,
the Bluetooth off. That
yeah. This
um.
works. Yeah.
Okay. Say it again. What was that?
How do you handle like sweat equities in your partnership?
Well, I mean, you know, every time I do a partnership with the people, we have a specific agreement that we talked about.
Uh
We
huh.
say, hey, either there are times where I provide more money. I say, hey, I'm going to put this much money in, and this is what I want you to do,
Yeah.
and the equity will be split like this, right?
Okay.
So there's certain ways you have to do it, and you have to get that agreement. And there's not, many times we write the agreement. Many times we just verbally agree. I mean, that's how some deals we just verbally agree what we want to do,
That's not
and some deals
recommended.
we have to write them right.
Yeah, yeah. So I think it comes back
Can you hear me?
to
I think I
yeah, I
lost
can
you.
hear you, but you're frozen. Um, I can hear you, but or maybe I
So
lost you.
can you hear me? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
think
can
I
hear
think
you.
you're.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, I
think
mean, so there's some deals that we verbally just talked about it, and
okay,
agree on verbally. There's something we write in a specific agreement. You know,
okay. All right. Let me see. Um,
I kept losing you there.
it's. I think it's my internet, man. All right. Can you hear?
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
hear?
I can hear.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Let's see. What do you guys know about wholesale? Dow, we done a whole wholesale properties show, so I'll write it on the description, and you could take a look at that later. Let me see. Oh, Dow asks, Do you need any license to wholesale?
No, you don't. Um, you don't need a license to wholesale, but they do, require. Like for example, being a real estate agent allows you to probably have a little bit of benefits on writing contracts, know what's going on.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people just do it themselves using you know commercial, using contracts from Office Max to do it.
Hmm.
For us, we use our standard MLS North Star contracts to write just like a regular offer and just
Yeah.
accept the maybe the deed might be quitclaim deed instead of warranty deed. You
Yep.
know.
Okay. Joe Vang asks, do you purchase in high crime neighborhoods?
So I purchase, we buy in every neighborhood. Some neighborhoods we wholesale right away because we might not want to stay that long. In some
Yeah.
neighborhood, we fix and we flip. So, you know, I guess there aren't that many bad neighborhood in Minnesota. So I guess what does he mean by high crime? We're like, like I
Well,
don't know how high that would be,
yeah, I think people have different definitions. Uh,
right?
but I live on East Side and East Side St. Paul, and supposedly this is a high crime area. But it's been okay for
Oh,
me.
I invest in East Side Trade. Yeah, I
I
mean, like
like.
I have a house in North Minneapolis myself, and it's not even that bad.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it comes to like you finding the proper tenants. You just have to make sure that you do your venting.
Well, here's the thing: is your goal is to rent there, or your goal is to sell it?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah,
Oh
that's the
yeah.
answer.
Yep. Yep.
If your goal is, well, I'm going to rent there and then there, well, you say, well, you might not get tenants that wants to live there for a long term. You might get people live there for a year and they move out after
Yep.
experiencing certain issues and well. But if you say, well, I'm going to sell, then hey, you can fix and really nice and flip to the, in some of these areas that are heavily having issues, the city actually provides grant for people to actually buy a house there.
Yep. I know the Frogtown area. There's some government grants coming up, so you guys are interested, go check that out.
Oh,
Um,
damn.
yeah, yeah. Dai messaged me, or I was talking to Dai the other day. Uh, I mean, last month I think. Let's see. Joel asked again. Do you have people manage your properties in the past? I know you don't have much now, but um, can you hear me?
Yeah. I think his is
do,
the
do you have people manage your properties in the past?
I used to for a year or two, then decided not to do it. So I decided to just do it myself. But managing, I mean, hire someone else to do it is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Local wise, I just did it myself. But when I was in North Carolina, I hired a management company to handle some stuff.
Okay.
So
All right. Oh, people still asking more questions. I thought we're done with questions already, but let's see. Dao Yang asks again. I think this might be the final questions from the list, and then because I don't want to keep you too long either, and then we'll kind of end the show. Dao Yang asks, my son just turned 18, and would like him to get a piece of that pie. How should he prepare for this career?
well, I mean, the real estate is going on a good direction right now, but in the next few years things will change. But realize the opportunity that hey, you want that piece of pie. If you can really maximize your money, your return right now, for example, your time. If you don't have money, you have time. Turn that
Yeah.
time into money, right? By
Yep.
being a real estate agent, and let's say if you can sell a lot of homes and make a good amount of saving
Yeah.
when the market crash in the future, you can really turn the money into down payment and really buy a house and take take a piece of pie. And then because
Yeah.
realization about an opportunity is something, but for a plan to execute is hard because only about 10% of people actually execute the plan.
Yeah.
But the next year, you know that more people are going to be more rich in the next. I would say the next 5 years, you're going to see more rich people than ever before, and you're going to see more poor people. It's because the
Yeah.
market shift and the rich people take the money, and the poor is going to be poor.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I'm waiting for the market shift. But in the meantime that I'm waiting, I'm still preparing myself, learning as much as I can, still looking for deals, like don't stop. But realize that a shift is coming and you could capitalize on it if you know what you're doing. So I would say get your son to surround himself with other people that are going to start in the field, and then find like great organizations like Creative Results or other people, to be around, and that's how you prep yourself. That's what I would recommend. You're welcome, Dal. All right, so we're towards the end of the show. I'm gonna ask you a few more questions, and then we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
If you guys have more questions later, and or watching this at a later time, leave your comments below or on the side or wherever it is, and then I'll get them to Billy, or I'll answer some of those questions for you guys. Let me see. What else do you do other than real estate? I saw some stuff in the back.
What I do for fun is music, but I also, I got into live stock trading. Learn
Uh
how
huh.
to, you know, realize in the future it's probably going to be real estate and stock trading,
Yeah.
and because real estate and stock trading go hands in hand right now. I didn't realize that one thing can hurt the other thing.
Yep.
It's funny how that the old days where everything was by themselves and now everything connected
Yep.
to each other.
Yep.
And that's why I don't read the market just like I used to read real estate news. I read world news. I listen to news that affect real estate in a way that has never been. In fact, impact real estate indirectly.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
And a lot of people, we don't understand that. How come this happened? I'm like, dude, because certain things they do in this sector affect this sector.
Yep.
And so if you, well, I used to study. I used to have a security license in mutual fund and other stuff, but then I didn't do any trades for a
Uh huh.
long time until just last year. I got back and said, maybe I should go back to the stock market and do something. Maybe learn how to and put some potential, put my potential to use what I used to learn back in
Yep.
the 30s. Why not?
There's so much that there's so many different things you could do in the stock market, right? If you just like day trade or something like that, that might be different. There's someone like Warren Buffett that buys and hold for a long time. Um, and so there's so many avenues that you could still make money in the market as well. So I think that's
Oh
great.
yeah, I remember the day. I remember the day Warren Buffett bought Bank of America's share for $5 a share.
Yeah, yeah,
He injected 5 billion. I read the news. Guess what? Bank of America is worth $35 a share now. So guess how
yeah,
much he just he put 5 million into it's a $5 a share, right? So
yeah,
but now it's 35 million, $35 a share. He just
yeah,
made like $6. Oh,
mm,
5, 6 times. That's
yeah,
probably how his equity, his net worth just jumped.
yeah,
You think
yeah,
about it.
yeah. And I remember when he bought American Express, I was like, but that's a whole separate story. All right.
That's market shit, man.
Yeah. So, what do you do for fun?
Right now, I have our band's trying to come back to do some play some music for fun.
Yeah.
That's why I just bought a new drum set
Uh
in
huh.
my to this room. We're trying to see if we can just come back and do something for fun since I don't hunt.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The second thing that we do for fun is I want to get back to sports and lift weight
Uh
because I used to was fit at one time, and then after
huh.
15 years of working hard, I gained so much weight so that this year I made a promise to myself that I would take care of my health as
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah.
fun times.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too, man. I need to. Steve's gonna kick both our asses on this. um.
Yeah, he was working every single day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So. Uh. Yeah. With that, Hottie Jones was asking. I was waiting for you to get there. When's your next album coming out? People want to know, man.
We I think we want to see if we can get probably try and see if we can get by done by the summer.
Uh huh.
Um, because we want to do probably small business video to really just promote for fun and also just getting old. I want to do something so that in one day you're thinking you're old now, but the next 20 years you're like, well, I wish I did something in my 40s, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, look back, I was 30, like man, I was young back then, but now I'm still young. But imagine 20 years from now, you're like, man, I should have done. I looked at Bruce Springsteen; they're still performing in their 60s. Like, oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your band and and then we're expecting an album. So what's the name of your band again? So maybe you
The
talk a
player.
little bit about that. Oh.
Yeah, the players, our bands, we started back in '96, and we didn't have the first album until '99. The
Uh-huh.
second album 2001, and we did another album in 2011, and then we just stopped there. But we had I wrote so many songs that on it's not published yet, but I think I wrote probably 50, 60 songs that I.
Uh-huh.
The good thing about right now is we have um, I think we have voice recorders, so I just kind of put it in there, but we'll choose some of those and put onto out in the album to see his, I mean, like I said, it's so fun. And I don't think we're gonna make much money at all. But somehow we just wasted money for fun. But hey, doing something for memory is probably worth more than anything in the future, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be looking for that album, man. All right. Lastly, do you have any book recommendations? Well, not
Well,
lastly, but
I do recommend this. I do say, hey, influence and communication is probably the most expensive commodity in the world. That
uh,
if you cannot influence or communicate effectively with people, you're just not going to make much money.
yeah,
I mean, it's a part of life that I realized that throughout the years, I spent a lot of time study people, started time reading, acquire people skill, because you're going to be dealing with people in their 20s to people in their 60s,
yeah,
and if you can't communicate effectively with these people, you can't get them to sign the paper, then there's not going to be a deal, right?
yep,
And
yep,
so, How to Win Friends and Influence People is one of the books I read back. I used to work for the states, and we were trained on that book, and I was like, wow,
yeah,
because this book gives you an idea how you can achieve your dreams by communicating,
yeah,
and without communication, you don't get people to sign paper,
yeah.
and you don't get deals,
Yeah,
right?
I love that book. If people don't know, I'm a very shy person. I don't like to talk much, but after I read that book, I was like, yeah, there's a way,
Right.
there's hope, there's hope for me.
Just hope. Another book that I recommend is the How Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill. I mean, it's really
Yeah,
to find out
it's
who you
classic.
are.
Yep.
Like I told a friend, one of the agents came to the office and said, "Look, until you know who you are, only then you can conquer your dream." Because
Yeah,
and he said, "How do you do that?" I said, "I'm gonna give you an example." I said, look at your phone right now. It's so complex that we thought this phone is like God, right?
yeah,
But in the end, who created the phone? We created that.
yep,
We actually made that phone to look so much like we thought that this phone was so high tech, but it's actually created by us.
yeah,
We actually
yeah,
combine all the codes, and that's how complex, how strong, how powerful we are. If we know who we are, then you can conquer just about anything. But until then, you'll be like so scared. And I told a friend of mine yesterday we were discussing eating for at your brother's restaurant in Unison. And I
yeah,
said, hey,
yeah,
when was the last time you saw bullets flying through your head? Like, no, I think I heard my dad say it loud. I said, yeah, and that's
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
said,
That's
"See,
true.
that was a high risk right there. In
Yeah,
America, if you borrow $1 million and you didn't pay back, you do it legally, they can't take you to jail.
yeah, yeah,
And you can press one button and it's called a reset. That's called a bankruptcy. You press one button and it reset everything. I'm like, so is there a risk to take in America? Probably not.
yeah, yeah. It's
You get
safe.
more time,
Yeah.
right?
That's
There's no
riskier.
risk. There is no risk in America. I mean, like they don't like. Just imagine if you take a 10,000 credit card loan and you didn't pay back.
Yeah,
The best thing you can do is probably sue you and maybe collect from your paycheck.
yeah,
But if you decide to file bankruptcy, then it's over.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
like they can't even sue you anymore.
Yeah, yeah. This fail safe in our in America that help us, you know. Okay. Any final thoughts to leave everybody before we go, and then we'll leave it at that.
All right, you know what? My final thought is that hey guys, you have to have a plan and you have to execute the plan. And I call it, you know, realization is called it's intelligent. It takes somebody who's intelligent enough to actually understand what the market is. And at the end, I call it execution leadership. You have to have leadership in you to actually execute, because at the end, nobody can tell you what to do or not to do. Because, in fact, if they tell you what to do all the time, they'll offend you in a way that you're like, well, I don't like what you're telling me, right? But in
Yeah,
fact, if you have leadership in you, you should be able to tell yourself what to do. And you know what? All of us have leadership in us. The only problem that we have right now that we don't know is that maybe you need another book just to open that potential.
yep,
Maybe you need to watch Two Fangs show enough just to uh, understand and realize that, hey,
yeah,
man, I need to do this, right?
yeah, yeah,
And so you need to surround yourself with positive people. And then one last thing is, I learned in my life when I was younger that I didn't grow up in the best family. I learned how to turn negative into positive.
Yeah,
That's one thing that I did in my past, that there was so much negative that I grew up with, that I had to turn those into inspiration and motivation instead of putting me down.
yeah.
You know.
Awesome, man. That's great advice. I'm taking those advice myself. So you guys, the rest of you guys should too. Yeah. With that said, we'll end the show. Billy, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for coming to the
All
Fang
right.
Real Estate Show. I appreciate it, and a bunch of people I know appreciate all your thoughts and experience.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. See you guys next time, then.
Yeah, yeah. I'll talk to you later, man. Thanks a lot, Billy.